DBS family, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super video here with Gal Chris, and today we're going over the final deck coming out in Realm of the Gods, which is going to be the Vegeta Trunks. This is the last yellow deck as well that we're doing in the channel, so make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the set. We only have, as me making this video, we're about a week away from pre-release, about 2 weeks away from the actual release of the set. Very exciting, very exciting stuff. Super excited actually for pre-release. I'm really excited to get my hands on these cards finally and start playing, because I am sick of the last format, as I'm sure a lot of you guys are. So this yellow leader has a lot of pressure on its shoulders, partially because of Bandai and partially because of the community in a whole. With Icarus essentially getting Thanos snapped, a lot of the other yellow decks, which as good as yellow is, there's not a lot of good yellow leaders. Like, you can just throw everything into a yellow deck, yes, but there's realistically like three decently good yellow leaders. Three very good yellow leaders. Does Trunks fit into that mold of a good yellow leader? Well, we're gonna kind of talk about it a little bit, but this does, like I said, this deck has a lot of pressure on its shoulders to come out and perform. A lot of content creators, a lot of people just been saying that this is going to be the deck that essentially is the successor to Icarus. So Trunks, when this card attacks, draw a card. Activate man if you have 2 or more energy and you choose one yellow Frieza, man, if it was only a Frieza card. One yellow Vegeta card in your battle area, place underneath this card. Flip over if you do, draw a card and strike life down until you have 6. But if you do awaken at 4 life, you are a draw 2, which is same as Icarus, right? So you're drawing a lot of cards. Getting down to 6 life is kind of, I don't want to say awkward, but you're not in Frieza army reinforcement range, which will actually hurt a lot. I think that's one of the things you can do against this deck, is kind of play around with double strike when they awaken, because unless they're tapping out, yellow doesn't have a lot of defensive tools when they tap out. So on the other side, we now have why isn't this going here? Hold on, I gotta click some stuff. There we go. We have Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Super Saiyan Trunks Father Son Onslaught. Honestly, this is probably one of the cooler. I love purple is my favorite color, so I love a lot of like purple in the background, and this full art is gonna look pretty nice in the binder. Very excited about that. When this card attacks, you may draw a card. If you don't, you play one yellow Vegeta or one yellow Future Trunks or one yellow Bulma with a Bulma Future, be precise, with ender cost of 1 in your hand, or you drop area and play it in rest mode. So this is good because this allows you to play something from the drop, which then the Trunks and the Vegeta, I think, both draw you a card, and then the Bulma, I think, is the Searcher, I believe. Auto, when a blue battle card activates an X-Evolve skill from your hand, draw a card. Activate battle once per turn, place up to 1 card from underneath this card in your owner's drop area. This card gets 10k in double strike for the battle. So what's awesome about this is essentially a built-in Champa, NFT, FT further destruction, Champa, yeah, an FTC, FTC, sorry, or East Kai, whatever you want to use, or Supreme Kai, I'm sorry. This is just a built-in 10k double strike, which is amazing. This allows you to not have to worry about tapping that energy for a double strike, when you can just tap the energy for a final flash, or tap the energy for a black Kamehameha, and then pump your leader by 10 or 15, and then pop that card underneath this to then gain an extra 10k in double strike. That's insane. So very excited about that. I do think this leader is gonna be very good. And we're going to kind of go over the deck list that I built for it, so you guys can get a feel for what the deck is going to possibly look like pre-release weekend and going into some of the tournaments following the release of the set. Alright guys, so here is the list that I've been kind of brewing up for Vegeta Trunks. And you're going to see obviously a lot of different things here, but you're going to see a lot of just yellow staples in here as well. But we're going to go over the Archetype cards here at the top, and then we'll kind of go in through the rest of the deck, and I'll give you kind of my my summary of what I think of why you should play this stuff in the deck, right? So we have the Vegeta, Father and Son teamwork, and we have the Trunks, Father and Sun Teamwork. Both of these are 4K barriers, which is nice because these cards are very, very important to your deck actually just functioning. And there are barrier removal, which is really funny. So you can actually like stall your opponent's awakening condition in a sense. So obviously it has to be on turn 1, you know, so there's some weird stuff you can do. But if your leader is a future Trunks, when this card is played, you draw 1. Or you play a Trunks Father-Son from your deck or drop area with the skills negated for the turn, then shuffle. And then this card does the same thing, but it plays the Vegeta. So both of these play each other, and the idea is that turn 1, and this is where, thankfully it does not play it in rest mode, but the problem is you turn 1, if you don't see Vegeta, you have to play Trunks and then play Vegeta from your deck, right? Vegeta comes in, has skills negated for the turn, then you just pass, and now you have Vegeta on board, and then next turn, then you can awaken, which is very powerful. I mean, you're drawing a card, right? You're drawing a card, you're striking 2 cards from life, so you're drawing 3, and now you have 2 energy up, obviously, and you can go into a bunch of different things, and there's a lot of interesting things that you can do in this deck with those, 2 of which are right next to them, which we have Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, and we have Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, the feature on the line. So, this is your replacement for Poutine, essentially. In this deck, you have an Archetype Poutine, which is pretty cool. This is a 19k barrier blocker, draw 1, X Evolve on top of a future Trunks, energy cost 1. This card is played using X Evolve, switch it to active mode, so the idea is that both of these actually have that same effect, where if you evolve on top of them, because the leader plays them out in rest mode, this allows you to just re-scan that card so that way it's active. Now, if you do remember, whenever you activate an X Evolve skill, you draw a card. So every time you activate one of these X Evolve skills, you're drawing a card off of this and a card off your leader once per turn, which is extremely powerful. I think it's very, very good. Like it's really, really good. This card also has the effect of Poutine. When your opponent plays a battle card or a unison, you choose it and switch it to rest mode. So it's a little bit of a different version of Poutine, because Poutine is if your opponent plays a battle card using a skill or a counter effect, then you choose a battle card and switch it to rest mode. But this can also switch unisons to rest mode. So it's like a Poutine mixed with the TP Shinran card with the same effect. Barrier blocker, very good, 19k. So it can block 15k attacks. This is very, very good, and for 1 energy too, no less. So that's very powerful. We teched in 2 of the Super Saiyan Blue Vegetas, 20k. When this card played using X Evolve, you resand it. When this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier, and KO it. The idea of this is to remove. It doesn't have to have barrier, which is the nice part, right? If you know the typical yellow card that gets rid of cards with barrier in rest mode is is Vegeta striving to be the best, right? You play it, you choose a card 3 or less with barrier, ignoring barrier, KO it, and restand in energy, right? This is a 1 cost that draws you a card. And what's funny is that this is played off of, I actually don't know if that would trigger or not. When played using X-Evolve skills for the rest. Oh yeah, so actually, if you played this into a Poutine, the Poutine can still tap it, because this would restand and then Poutine would tap it. So that's actually kind of funny. But this KOs any battle card in rest mode, but it also just ignores barrier. There's no energy cost to that. There's no energy requirement. So it can be a thwarting. It can be whatever. Right? You swing into something else and then KO something else in rest mode. It's very, very powerful. But also being able to get through barrier, meaning that you can kill cards like Slug. You can kill cards like Absolute Annihilation. Any barrier card. Just being able to pop a barrier card, or just any card, is just incredibly powerful. With also drawing you a card, essentially drawing you 2 cards because of your leader. Very, very powerful card. The other card from the archetype that we'll actually just talk about right now, just to finish everything off, is the SR from the set, Vegeta and Trunks Father-Son Bonds. This is your 35k crit. You play them out for 2 yellow. If you have 3 more energy, you choose 1 yellow Vegeta and 1 yellow Trunks. In your battle area, play this card from your hand and place them on top of the chosen card. So this is essentially like a Union Fusion effect, right? Fusion, Batora. It's like Batora, because you play from field on Batora as well. So this is that same sort of effect, even though they obviously don't have that in the anime. So he's a 35k crit. Activate battle. Limit 1, place 2 cards from underneath this card in the drop area. Draw the card, choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, KO them, and this card gets triple strike. So this is your main game finisher, right? Like, you swing in with it. Opponent doesn't have anything, you just say, okay, activate battle, pop 2, draw a card, and then KO 2 things in rest mode. I do believe as well, and the funny part about this is that you can do this on defense as well. I was just reading the card. Now, obviously, you lose the triple strike, but being able to just pop the 2 cards underneath this, draw a card, and then KO the attacking battle card is really funny. So, like, even in a sense, like, you can't hand dump. Just like in normal yellow decks. Like, against normal yellow decks, like, it already feels awkward enough having to play around this stupid card just because they can get rid of your double strike, right? But being able to just nonchalantly, for no energy, just your opponent combos their whole hand on top of their secret rare, you're like, cool, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pop 2 cards underneath, I'm gonna draw a card, I'm gonna kill your card that's attacking me. Okay, that's fair, right? Like, that's really powerful. Just giving yellow, of course, another very powerful card. Now, obviously, this is sort of I want to say this essentially is archetype locked. There's not a lot of decks that are playing Vegeta and Trunks cards. I'm sure someone's gonna come up with some jank idea that's a worse version of this that plays you know, this card, but this is the archetype that you're going to play it. And we're only running 2, just essentially just because of deck space, right? Another 8-drop you can run is going to be Dragon Fist. I'm sure Dragon Fist is going to be a lot of people's sideboards, just because that card's pretty dominating too. And then the last card from the set, the new set, is going to be Black Kamehameha. We know how powerful this card is, right? 10k to anything. If it's your turn, choose the 20 opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. If it's your opponent's turn, you draw a card and tap 2 battle cards. Now, the great thing is that this is not as good as Power Super Saiyan. I don't care what anyone says. It's not a exact replacement. I think I talked about this in the Zamasu Goku Black deck video, but this is not a replacement. It feels way better for a yellow player to tap that 1 energy, to tap down something, because you can sequence around this, because this doesn't tap unisons, right? So obviously what they're probably going to do is they're going to Power Super Saiyan, right? They're going to tap something, draw a card, and then use this to tap 2 more cards and draw another card, which is good. But depending on where they're at energy-wise, I mean, most yellow decks that are not playing blue-yellow are not going to hold 3 energy up for defense. It just doesn't really make too much sense, right? So, as good as the card this is, I don't think it is a full replacement for Power Super Saiyan, but only time will tell, I assume. We do play Unison, and we play Android 20 and Dr. Mew Hellish Accomplish. I think it's Accomplices. Auto, once per turn, if it's your turn, when you activate an Evolve or Union skill, add a card to your hand. Now, I did have to look this up, because I was confused. We, a few of us, shout out to Navarro and Jack from my, one of the locals I go to. We were talking about this one night, and I didn't think this Unison actually would work in the deck, because Evolve, I was under the impression that Evolve and X-Evolve are different skills, but after looking at one of the rulings, Evolve and X-Evolve are the exact same skill. So this actually counts, I believe, when you activate Evolve. So when you evolve any of your targets, you also can add a marker to this as well. Whenever you remove a marker using Spirit Boost, you can pop something in rest mode. Currently in the main deck, I don't think we run any Spirit Boost except for this Goku here, which I'll go over. So it's not something you're going to really be doing a lot. But the fact of it is, this is just a way to just have a Unison on board, being able to draw cycle cards. You can draw a card and then pitch one of your Vegeta or Trunkses, and then use your leader effect to play it off of them. You can also grab back any of your 5-cost evolve targets, which would be, if like I said, if X evolve does count, it would be this guy. It's 5, right? 5 or less. Yes, you can either grab this back or grab the Vegeta back. It's pretty good, right? Or the Trunks, right? So you can grab back any of your fusion targets there. If you are going to run this Unison, I would recommend probably playing Prideful Transformation as well. Just because I think Prideful Transformation is going to have more value in this coming format than it has in the past, probably format and a half. Just because Power Super Saiyan's gone, Bergamo's gone essentially. So being able to have that free play, I think is going to be really prominent in a deck like this, right? I'm not going to go over these top cards here, but these are just the typical yellow staples defensive options that you're going to run in every yellow deck, right? Obviously, we're a yellow Saiyan, going to run for 4 Turles. We're running 3 Krillin and 1 Skillless Chilai. I think this unison is very undervalued in a lot of decks. So the reason why we added this is because we only have 1 power for Super Saiyan now, and we want to be able to interact with unison. So we have Chilai, we have Trunks, and we have power for Super Saiyan, being able to tap unisons. I think it's very powerful, right? Very, very powerful. You also can do some cool things like blank a battle card on your turn and then combo with this to KO a battle card because it would be considered skillless. So like there's some interesting things that you can do with it as well. For Goku Steadfast, this is kind of taking the place of Power for Super Saiyan now as being the 4-of that you run for defensive purposes. And because this is a 3-cost Goku, we can actually run the Future on the Line Goku. This is a 2x evolve, does not draw you a card when you evolve. But it's a 20k dual attack, auto once per turn Spirit Boost. When this card attacks, draw a card and choose the 20 opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So you actually can play this, swing, Spirit Boost, draw a card, KO something in rest mode, and then you use this effect then to KO something in rest mode as well. So you actually, for 2 energy and a Spirit Boost, you draw a card and KO 2 things in rest mode. It's very powerful. This is very, very good for board removal, and I think more people should hopefully look into this sort of combination and see if they actually can find a way to make it work. 2 Swift Retaliation Coolers. We also run the Slug package just because I think, as much as I hate to admit it, and I love this card. If you guys remember, if you guys have been fans of the channel for a while, you guys remember all of my Mecha Frieza videos where I played this card in like every deck. I absolutely love this card. I hate it at the same time. It's going to be necessary, I think, for yellow to be as dominant as it wants to be. Slug is going to have to be one of the main vocal points of yellow, at least going forward. And the secret rare we have is Super 17. Now this can be switched out for Kai. This can be switched out for Pan, whatever you would rather run. But I do like the fact that this is just being able to blank a card. Like you basically absorb a card coming into play, and then absorb a card, and now you have a 40k crit on board. So I do think that this is pretty powerful. Just kind of a cheaper alternative to the Pan and the the Supreme Kai of Time of the world. But this is the deck. I do think we'll see Vegeta. I don't know if we'll see like something like exact like this. I don't think a lot of decks are going to probably main deck these Vegeta and Goku combinations, which I think is a mistake. I think I do think it's really good, especially this being able to swing like at an opponent's leader, or like in the mainly like in the Gogeta matchup, right? So being able to play out a 1-cost that draws you 2 cards, and then swinging this into something, like let's say you swing this into a True Fighting Spirit, right? Or you swing this into a blocker, and then you can use this card to KO their thwarting, right? Being able to just get rid of thwarting on board, yes, they can play more out, but being able to just kind of keep the board steady, especially being able to kill like True Fighting Spirits and things, is gonna be very powerful. And using these two card combinations, like this is gonna get removed by the barrier guy, right? Which is gonna suck. They're gonna like both of these decks I think are very well matched. This and Gogeta Xeno. So I think we're gonna see some very interesting matchups where these decks are gonna they're gonna lock up, and we're gonna have to see who's, I think essentially I think the better player. I know it's kind of a cop-out, but both decks are so similar in draw power and kind of utility. It's going to be whoever the best player is going to win the matchup. And that's good because skill matchups are better than deck matchups, I feel like. If you have 2 really similar power level decks, and then it's just whoever the better player is. So this is what I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think of the deck. Any comments, concerns, questions, let me know down below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You guys will be getting the State of the Realm of the Gods set coming out soon. I have like 5 videos planned for that, plus some other stuff for the Realm of the Gods. Thank you guys for watching, as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.